After having mentored these many students for these many years, we have understood there are critical gaps that the UPSC coaching industry is just not filling. And the result is the students are left on their own. The students are left to study an ocean of current affairs. They are left to write tests, mock tests, which are completely disconnected with the present pattern of the prelims paper. And there is a total neglect of paper solving approach, of risk taking aptitude, and most importantly, there is a total neglect of the mental equilibrium that needs to be maintained throughout the process, especially in the months before the prelims examination. The end result is there is increasing unpredictability around the prelims examination, and only those students who are able to understand the expectations of UPSC in the prelims examination are able to clear the prelims exam with comfortable margins and even multiple times if need be. And coupled with that, there is exorbitant fees attached to courses which are really not meeting the needs and demands of the UPSC prelims examination. So guys, we have come up with this program, Demolish Prelims 2025, as part of the UPSC Mitra initiative, where 360-degree mentorship is an important component. We'll be talking more about this in the later part of the video. And this program is framed in such a manner that it meets the actual needs of the UPSC prelims examination and gives you that real edge in the prelims examination. And it helps you be part of that top 1% students who are able to understand the actual needs of the examination and clear the prelims examination with comfortable margin. The most important component of the Demolish Prelims program is the Demolish Prelims Toolkit, which consists of 4 elements. Number 1 is Ranker Super Tests. Divyank will be speaking more about it. So basically in Ranker Super Tests, different IAS and IPS officers have shown their willingness to help you guys through these tests. They are framing questions by themselves and they will be testing you live in these super tests. Then we have logic booster sessions, which I will be conducting live interactive manner on Zoom. Then performance booster sessions, which will be conducted by Miss Devyani, where she will be helping you maintain that mental equilibrium and enhance your performance, both academically and otherwise, be it with respect to note making, better memorization, better recall, and then handling exam pressure, handling time pressure, and so on. And the 4th one is PIB micro themes coupled with current affairs. We will understand more about this in later part of the video as to how PIB has become the most important source of current affairs and other so-called random questions which are being asked in the prelims paper. And the obvious other elements that we will be covering are UPSC level tests. There will be 20 tests. And the 6th one is PYQ coverage. 10 years of exhaustive PYQ coverage will be done. So quickly jumping to the super test element. The first and probably the most important element of Demolish Prelims 2025 program. There will be 10 mini tests framed by IAS, IPS officers themselves. In each test, there will be 25 questions where these IAS, IPS officers will be testing you live. You will be attempting those tests, those questions live with those rankers, and there will be question by question discussion. So now we have IPS Divyank with us. So Divyank, please elaborate more on this ranker super test. Also, you'll be discussing a few questions so that the students understand what exactly you are going to do in those super tests.
Yes, sir. So, sir, before we go through कि हम लोग इस test में ranker super test में what we intend to do, I think first we can go through the 5 questions about the techniques and the thought process, how they develop and how we can use them for solving questions.
Sure.
So this is a question of 2024 exam. Which of the following statements about exercise Mitra Shakti are correct? Statement 1 is, this was a joint military exercise between India and Bangladesh. Second is, it commenced in Aundh, Pune. Third is joint response during counter-terrorism operation was a goal of this operation. Fourth is Indian Air Force was a part of this exercise. So this is about Mitra Shakti exercise. So obviously third and fourth statement जो आप देखोगे, so you will see कि these are very general in nature because terrorism is something which global at a global level is a global level issue and India is facing since for the past 30 years, 35 years. So that is obviously जो है वो joint response की बात उसमें होगी. So third statement seems to be right. And fourth is also supports that because उसमें Air Force की new because now terrorists are using UAVs, they are using advanced weapons due to which we need support of all three military units. So third and fourth seems to be right. So अगर third and fourth सही है, so we are left with option C and option D. So now we have to find कौन सी statement first and second में सही है या कौन सी गलत है. So before I go into that specific thing, we should take a step back and we should ask ourselves कि जब examiner किसी कोई गलत statement बनाता है, what is his thought process? वो कैसे जो है वो उस statement को गलत बनाता है. So वो किसी एक statement को लेता होगा जिसमें एक fact होता होगा and then वो उस fact को हटा के किसी और fact को substitute करता होगा. So while doing this thing, जब वो एक गलत wrong fact substitute करता है, तो जब भी किसी चीज को आप वो अपने वो खुद से बनाता होगा तो उसके लिए जो है वो भी तो उसके दिमाग में जो है वो उसके माइंड में जो टॉप ऑफ द हेड जो उसकी चीजें होती हैं वो बहुत ही पॉपुलर चीजें होती हैं. वो लेट्स से सेकंड अगर स्टेटमेंट है तो अगर वो आउंस पुणे में नहीं हुआ होगा, लेट्स से इट हैपेंड इन दिल्ली, तो दिल्ली को हटा के वो उसको बड़े बड़ी सिटीज का नाम रख सकता है कि चेन्नई में हो सकता है, मुंबई में हो सकता है, अहमदाबाद में हो सकता है. But Aund Pune is so specific. Plus the way it is written, like Aund and then in bracket it has written Pune. उसको देख के लगता है कि this statement has been directly picked up from the Mitra Shakti exercise which happened from the government side and then just put there. But अगर आप first statement देखते हो, first statement is saying कि India and Bangladesh के बीच में exercise है. Now changing the name of a country is very easy. बांग्लादेश की जगह मैं श्रीलंका लिख सकता हूँ, मैं मालदीव्स लिख सकता हूँ, मैं म्यांमार लिख सकता हूँ. So making a statement one is much more easy compared to statement two, and that is why the probability of statement two being right is high. So इसलिए जो है वो मैंने वहाँ पे option D टिक किया था, and when I came out of the exam hall I checked and it was right. So that is how you think not only from your perspective but also from the perspective of the examiner who is making the question, and that is how you mark such question right when you don't know the exact answer. Yeah. So now we can move on to the next question. So ये भी question जो है वो 2024 का ही है. The question question is कि with reference to CSR rules in India, consider the following statements. Statement one is CSR rules specify that expenditures that benefit the company directly or its employees will not be considered as CSR activities. So now CSR rule कोई पढ़ के नहीं जाता एग्जाम हॉल में. मैंने इतना पढ़ा हुआ है, इतने अटेम्प्ट्स किए हुए हैं, बट कभी भी मैंने या मेरे फ्रेंड्स जिनके बहुत हाई मार्क्स आए हैं, कभी भी कोई ये सब पढ़ के इतना स्पेसिफिक नहीं जाएगा. नॉर्मल बेसिक चीजें ही रिवाइज करने में जो है वो इतना टाइम लग जाता है, वही नहीं हो पाती हैं. तो यू बेसिकली डोंट एक्सपेक्ट यू टू रीड द कंपनी एक्ट ऑफ 2013 और उसमें जाके आप पढ़ो कि CSR रूल है. तो यहाँ पे आपको अपना कॉमन सेंस और लॉजिक यूज करना पड़ेगा कि भाई CSR रूल में अगर जो है वो प्रोविजन ये वाला नहीं होगा तो ऑब्वियसली इट इज कंपनीज कैन वाइडली मिसयूज इट. कोई भी जो है वो अपनी फैमिली मेंबर के नाम पे कोई एक्टिविटी कर लेगा एंड इट विल कॉल्ड कि दे हैव हेल्प्ड इन द सोशल अपलिफ्टमेंट. कोई अपने एम्प्लॉयज को जो है वो बेनिफिट कर सकता है. So even if you have not read, even then you can mark this statement right because this is more logical. This is by using the common sense. Statement two, if you read, so this is it says कि CSR rules do not specify minimum spending on CSR activities. अब इसमें भी आप कॉमन सेंस यूज कर सकते हो कि अगर मिनिमम स्पेसिफाई नहीं करेंगे तो इंडिया जैसे देश में इतने जो है वो फिर मिसयूज होगा, उसका टैक्स एवेजन इतना होता है दैट इट विल बी उसका कोई मतलब ही नहीं रह जाएगा. प्लस ये बहुत ही नोन फैक्ट है कि जो है वो CSR में देयर इज मिनिमम 2% स्पेंडिंग जो नेट प्रॉफिट कंपनी का होगा इन द प्रीवियस 3 years में, उसका जो है वो आपको स्पेंड करना होता है. तो ये नोन चीजें हैं. यूपीएससी एक्सपेक्ट्स की ये वेल नोन चीजें हैं. जो 2% वाला है कंपनी एक्ट के लिए, कंपनीज के लिए, ये वेल नोन है. तो आपको वेल नोन चीजें याद रखनी है, आपको छोटी छोटी चीजें नहीं याद रखनी है. So this is how, by using your knowledge, by using logic, common sense, you can get these questions right. Okay, so now we can move on to the next question. The question is, with reference to the Pradhan Mantri Surakshit Matritva Abhiyan, consider the following statement. So statement one is, this scheme guarantees a minimum package of antenatal care to women in their second and third trimesters of pregnancy and 6 months post-delivery health care services in any government health facility. अब आप खुद सोचो कि we all are just a well aware youth of India. यूपीएससी आपको जो है वो एएनएम के लिए, आप एएनएम नहीं बनने वाले हो या आशा वर्कर नहीं बनने वाले हो कि आपको पता होना चाहिए कि जो है वो कौन से मंथ में, कौन से ट्राइमेस्टर में आपको जो है वो एंटीनेटल केयर होनी चाहिए. इतना स्पेसिफिक अगर हर एक स्कीम का पढ़ेंगे तो फिर तो कभी यूपीएससी का सिलेबस हो ही नहीं सकता, कभी भी प्रीलिम्स निकलेगा ही नहीं. तो ऑब्वियसली जब इतना स्पेसिफिक यूपीएससी बनाती है तो इट इज सेफ टू एज्यूम कि इसने कहीं ना कहीं गेम खेला होगा. इट इज इजियर फॉर टू मेक दिस स्टेटमेंट रॉन्ग. तो ज्यादा चांस है कि ये गलत होगा. सो वी कैन एलिमिनेट दिस स्टेटमेंट एंड देन तो इसको अब हम एलिमिनेट कर देंगे. एंड देन नाउ वी रीड स्टेटमेंट 2 व्हिच इज कि अंडर दिस स्कीम प्राइवेट सेक्टर हेल्थ केयर प्रोवाइडर्स ऑफ सर्टेन स्पेशलिटीज कैन वॉलंटियर टू प्रोवाइड सर्विसेज एट नियर बाय गवर्नमेंट हेल्थ फैसिलिटी. So this is a very general positive type of a statement. The private sector, because PPP is already going on, and then this is like a volunteering by itself. So obviously, ये statement सही होने की probability बहुत ज़्यादा high है. So we can mark this statement right, and answer will be B. So you can use this this thought process of कि भाई कितना हमको आना चाहिए, कितना यूपीएससी एक्सपेक्ट करती है और कौन सी चीजें जो है वो जनरली ट्वीट करती है. So this is another thought process and technique which by which you can solve this question.
Yeah.
So okay. So this is again a 2024 question. So the question is, with reference to the radioisotope thermoelectric generators, consider the following statement. Statement one is, RTGs are miniature fission reactors. I didn't know this thing at that time. Second is, RTGs are used for powering the onboard system of a spacecraft. Now this question, this radioisotope thermoelectric generator is a technology type of a question, and statement 2 is the application of that technology. And mostly like in 90% of the question, जब भी किसी technology का application आता है तो there is a very high chance, like I said, about 90% chance होता है कि वो सही ही होगा, because अभी नहीं होता है तो आगे यूज हो सकता है. So statement 2 must be right. Third statement is, RTGs can use plutonium-238, which is a byproduct of weapon development. So weapon development में जिसको थोड़ा बहुत भी आइडिया हो कि न्यूक्लियर वेपन कैसे बनता है, so there are tactical missile, there are non-tactical missile. तो tactical missile में अगर आप सबसे छोटा भी बॉम्ब बनाओगे तो that is as small as 1 kiloton, which is 1000 ton. 1000 ton में miniature fission reactor कैसे बना सकता है. So that is one thing. Another, आप और simple अगर आप example लेना चाहोगे तो you can look at the India's 3-stage nuclear reactor. So उसमें if you have read तो उसमें third stage में we are going to use plutonium. तो वो भी वो plant जो है वो इतना बड़ा होता है कि we have to acquire so much of land. तो उसमें भी miniature fission reactor we cannot develop. वो this is not about miniature. This has to be at a large scale. So statement 1 is contradicting a statement 3rd, and by that you can eliminate statement 1. So we will be left with option B. And इस तरीके से आप how you can look कि कैसे जो है वो statement एक दूसरे को contradict करती है, and even if you don't know exactly about that technology, you can arrive at a final answer.
Yeah.
So this is one question. And this जो last में example आपके सामने ले रहा हूँ, this is ये actually 2023 का question है. So this is about कि जब भी यूपीएससी में जब भी क्वेश्चन आता है जहाँ पे किसी गवर्नमेंट बॉडी या किसी गवर्नमेंट एंटिटी को डीकैपेसिटेट किया जाता है, कभी भी उसकी पावर्स को ले लिया जाता है, कभी भी ऐसा होता है कि जो है वो उसको बहुत ही वल्नरेबल दिखाया जाए कि दिस बॉडी कैन नॉट डू दिस थिंग, दिस बॉडी डज नॉट हैव द पावर टू डू दिस थिंग, तो वो स्टेटमेंट हमेशा गलत होती है. अब उसके रीजनिंग ये है कि यूपीएससी इटसेल्फ इज अ कॉन्स्टिट्यूशनल बॉडी, अ गवर्नमेंट बॉडी. इट कैन नॉट एंड इट विल नॉट make any statement right which decapacitates any government entity. एंड यूपीएससी पॉजिटिव स्टेटमेंट गवर्नमेंट स्कीम के बारे में लिखेगी या गवर्नमेंट की पावर के लिए लिखेगी कि गवर्नमेंट कैन डू दिस, गवर्नमेंट बॉडी कैन डू दिस, वो हमेशा मोस्टली जो है वो आई कैन से कि 95% से ज्यादा चांस है कि वो स्टेटमेंट सही होती है। ये वी कैन सी दिस बाय दिस एग्जांपल कि statement 1 is no high court shall have the jurisdiction to declare any central law to be constitutionally invalid. So again, it is taking away the power of a high court. High court के पास power ही नहीं. So this statement has to be wrong. Second is an amendment to the Constitution of India cannot be called into question by the Supreme Court of India. So ये तो सबको well known fact है कि भाई इतने amendments को Supreme Court ने unconstitutional declare किया, so it has that power. So you can mark both these statements wrong. So this is what the thought process, the technique which UPSC expects you to know. कि जो है वो आपको पता होना चाहिए. आपने PYQ इतने बार देखे हो कि वो आपको ये सब चीजें आती हो. And this is how people score more than 120 plus continuously. I have done that, my friends have done that, my seniors have done that, and this is the way. And ऐसा नहीं है कि and the reason why we are actually bringing this super test in this course is because कि ये चीजें, ये टेक्निक्स या ये चीजें बहुत पहले से अवेलेबल हैं. मैं ऐसा नहीं है कि मैंने ये बनाई है. कुछ टेक्निक्स, काफी टेक्निक्स मैंने खुद की डेवलप की होंगी, बट जो वेल नोन चीजें हैं कि फैक्ट हटा दो, ओनली स्टेटमेंट हटा दो, एक्सट्रीम स्टेटमेंट हटा दो, ये बहुत पहले से ही मार्केट में चली है. यूपीएससी हैज बीन डूइंग दैट फॉर पास्ट डिकेड. बट पॉइंट इज कि इवन आफ्टर नोइंग दिस थिंग, I myself have failed in UPSC prelims because just knowing these techniques is not enough. You should be able to use it under the exam pressure. Because जब एग्जाम में जब ये टेक्निक्स आती है ना, आपका दिमाग एकदम वैसा हो जाता है कि यू स्टार्ट डाउटिंग द टेक्निक्स जो आपने पढ़ी, क्योंकि आपने कभी पहले अप्लाई करके देखी नहीं है. ये टेक्निक्स टेस्ट सीरीज के पेपर्स में अप्लाई नहीं होती हैं. ये आपको सीधे सबसे पहले जो आप जाओगे वो अप्लाई करोगे जाके वहां पे एक्चुअल एग्जाम में, क्योंकि टेस्ट सीरीज जो अभी पेपर बनाती हैं, दे आर नॉट इन लाइन विद यूपीएससी पेपर. मैं खुद जो है वो हमेशा मेरे काफी बार ऐसे 70 मार्क्स आए हैं, बट इन यूपीएससी आई हैव स्कोर्ड 130 125 मार्क्स. तो इसलिए जो है वो क्या होता है कि वहां पे जो फर्स्ट अटेम्प्ट सेकंड अटेम्प्ट के लोग होते हैं, दे आर नॉट एबल टू यूज दीज टेक्निक्स एंड दे फेल डिस्पाइट हैविंग द साउंड नॉलेज बेस. दिस हैज हैपेंड विद मी एंड दिस हैपेंस विद मेनी ऑफ द पीपल. So in these mini tests, what we intend to do, we will be solving each test in a live mode. Like एक question आपके सामने आएगा and then we will give you like 30 seconds, 40 seconds, and then you have to after that time you have to give the answer, and then we will tell you the thought process which you should have used so that you are able to come at a you have marked that question right. तो ऐसा हर टेस्ट में आप 25 times करेंगे and then multiply it by 10. So it is going to help you simulate a lot. It is going to prepare you for the actual exam, so that it becomes your natural your natural response when you see UPSC prelims paper. So we intend to do that. We intend to help you in getting in clearing the prelims, and so that prelims is not a hurdle for you anymore.
Taking what Divyank has already said, guys, I will be conducting the logic builder classes, in which I'll be completing the very important tricks, techniques, and thought processes needed to develop the level of paper solving approach that Divyank was just mentioning. Now, be it identifying the extreme references, be it able to identify word associations being used by UPSC, odd one out, compatibility test, compatibility between questions and options, identifying arbitrary numbers. Now, arbitrary numbers value or arbitrary numbers as opposed to reasonable numbers, probing feasibility of options, the middle value rule or the center stage phenomenon as we call it, dealing with random options, and so on. So these base building sessions I'll be conducting, which will be called the logic builder sessions, and then Divyank will help you further through the ranker super test. Not just Divyank, all the other IAS IPS officers which have shown willingness to contribute to this initiative. Then, guys, apart from that, we'll be having a very important component which is very much neglected, but which has turned out to be the most important source for prelims examination, that is PIB. So PIB Manthan and current affairs. we'll be covering around 150 micro themes from PIB, which will also have active recall classes, nuclear notes, and we'll be doing coverage of 2 years. Now, it is very important to understand what is the utility of active recall classes, nuclear notes. Guys, this is how nuclear notes look like. Now, this has been taken from the PIB, lymphatic filariasis. So, direct from PIB, level 1, level 2, level 3, direct from PIB, additional information on the disease, and extended research. Now, this is how UPSC has been asking questions, and this might come as a surprise to you, but 29 questions were asked from PIB by UPSC in the prelims 2024 examination. And after putting in hundreds and hundreds of hours in covering current affairs, not even 5 questions could be traced directly to the current affairs magazines that students usually follow. So we'll be following PIB, the source that UPSC has been following, and UPSC has been consciously dodging the current affairs sources available in the market. So PIB Manthan classes, micro themes, active recall classes, nuclear notes, and coverage of 2 years, because questions have been asked from the past 2 years. If you take examples of UPSC Prelims 2024, 2023, 2022. Moving ahead, guys, we'll be having PYQ anchoring sessions where PYQs, past year papers of last 10 years will be covered. So there are around 90 micro themes which are very repetitive in nature. So in the active recall classes, we will be revising and consolidating these micro themes. Also, again, very similar to the nuclear notes that we just saw, we'll be having nuclear notes, very condensed, short notes, so that things are very much revisable before the examination. And again, 10 years coverage hone wala hai. Guys, your mentorship needs will be tackled through Zoom sessions being conducted twice a month by me. Obviously, IPS Divyank will be mentoring you through his super test sessions, and Ms. Devyani will be mentoring you through her performance booster sessions, and I will also be helping you, mentoring you through the logic builder sessions and so on. But I will also be conducting these dedicated strategy sessions 2 times a month. Then, obviously, there is this component of Demolish Prelims tests. And guys, these are the most PYQ aligned, the most aligned tests with the changing pattern of UPSC. And what is more important is these tests will be conducted in live format. So this is how live tests look like. So this is me, your mentor, sitting there on the top left side of the screen, and the other students are writing tests in live format. So this gives you that feel, that simulation of writing a test with many other students, even if you are sitting at home. So that's a big problem. If you're sitting at home, if you're studying without a peer group, if you're not in Delhi. So these live sessions are proving to be very helpful for the students to develop your confidence and be aligned with your peer group and again the demands of the paper. Then we'll also be having post-test discussions after every test. Total 20 tests honge. 12 will be sectional tests of 50 questions each. We'll have 5 full-length tests of 100 questions each, and we'll have 3 CSAT tests, 80 questions each. Guys, beyond that, we also have Ms. Devyani, who will be taking care of your mental equilibrium, enhancing your performance, and helping you boost and maintain your performance level throughout the next 6 months before the prelims examination. So Ms. Devyani herself has been an IAS aspirant, and presently she is a mental health professional, and for quite some time she has been helping IAS aspirants in maintaining their productivity and performance levels. So Ms. Devyani, please elaborate on how you are going to help the students through your performance booster classes.
Thank you, sir. As we all know, prelims ka jahan tak baat aati hai, when Divyank sir has also mentioned that knowledge is not the only thing that will get you through this exam. That even though their knowledge base is very strong, even when they have tried to master the PYQs, they have done everything that they could do in the preparation. But when you enter the examination hall, you feel so overwhelmed, you feel so stressed out, कि ऐसा लगता है कि हम ब्लैंक हो गए हैं. So that is something that happens because you feel so stressed, you feel so nervous. आपकी जो cognitive faculties हैं, आपका जो mind है, वो थोड़ा सा slow down हो जाता है, and you are not able to perform to your optimum level. A study has shown that with respect to prelims, there are 31% students who reported that they feel anxious when they're appearing for prelims, but compare it to mains, and only 19% people were reporting anxiety symptoms. So it is very clear that prelims is a stage where you feel a lot of stress. And the reasons are also very clear. I think we all would agree that prelims is a very high stakes stage. This is where your entire journey is going to actually begin. If you don't crack prelims, then there is no moving forward in this exam. The basic principle behind worrying, behind being nervous, is that of unpredictability. जब हमें ऐसा लगता है कि चीजें हमारे कंट्रोल में नहीं है, हम प्रिडिक्ट नहीं कर सकते हैं कि क्या होने वाला है, that's when we start getting nervous, right? So the entire point here is that as prelims start approaching, instead of your performance falling, instead of a decrease in your productivity, not only will we try to maintain it, we will actually try to enhance it. So the goal of performance booster classes will be, you should be feeling ready to take on the challenge, and you should be seeing an increase in your productivity, in your performance. And this is something that we have put together after a lot of research, right? So these are some areas that are a little bit of a concern for students. So something like time management. Now we all know this exam mein the syllabus is huge. You have to do PYQs, you have to do mocks, you have to do so many subjects. There are so many sources that you have to refer to. So all of that can end up becoming very overwhelming if you are not managing your time judiciously. Then things will start getting overwhelming for you right when the exam is approaching. And then the stress will pile on, you will get more overwhelmed. और जितना ज्यादा आप stress होगे, उतना आपकी productivity और fall होगी. So it will actually become a vicious circle for you. So we will be using techniques like time chunking, time blocking to make sure that you manage your time well. And I want to mention that this is not going to be something theoretical. When I say that we will help you with time management, I am talking about 2-hour sessions, live sessions, where we will be doing assignments. I will be explaining to you why these problems are arising and what you can do to counter them. We will be doing assignments together right there. You will be given feedback. So as soon as you're done with the assignment, I will be giving you feedback, whatever difficulties you have been facing. We will deal with them together in real time. So this is something that will help you a lot, because time management, note making, all of these things, हमें theoretically ये सब कुछ पता होता है, right? We have been managing our time since we were in school. It's not as if ये कोई नई चीज है. But the techniques that we will be using will be backed by the principles of psychology. They will be backed by empirical scientific evidence that can make you perform to the best level that you are capable of. It will optimize your performance. And because you have done those assignments, you have practiced it in the session with me, it will be much more easy for you to implement them when you are doing your own studying, or even when you're sitting in the exam hall and the question paper is right in front of you, right? We will also be tackling note making, which is again, I'm sure बहुत लोग ये कहते हैं, and everybody must have heard of this, कि note making is one of the ways of improving your retention. A lot of people are not able to recall things in the exam hall, not because their memory is bad, but because the note making was not effective, right? So note making is something that will help you with retention. It will help you with revision. And we will be using a lot of different techniques. For example, the one sentence summary rule, or the one question, one answer rule. We'll be using all of this to make sure that your notes are effective and that your notes are perfect for your revision. We will also be doing something on memory. So apart from active recall, we will be moving beyond that. We will be using techniques like memory palace, or we will be using techniques like the 3 example rule. Memory ke baare mein, the thing is that if you give yourself enough hints when you are remembering things. So for example, The 3 examples rule is when you read a concept, you try to come up with 3 examples, right? So for example, अगर मैं आपसे पूछती हूँ कि how would you define a fruit? You may not be able to define it. It's hard. But if I tell you to just recall an example of it, you will think of a mango, and then you can start defining what a fruit is, right? So the examples actually trigger your recall. So we will be using all of these techniques. We will also be working on your consistency. Something like the 5-minute rule will be helping you. We will also be working on procrastination. A lot of people think that procrastination is to do with laziness, but that is not true. Procrastination is not just about that. It could be laziness, could be a factor, but there are so many other things. Procrastination का एक बहुत बड़ा reason is that you're worried, you're nervous, you feel so overwhelmed by everything that you have to do कि आपको लगता है कि छोड़ो बाद में कर लेंगे, right? Because you are comfortable in not doing. When you will actually sit down and when you will actually start studying, that is difficult. Also, you will feel कि okay, अभी इतना रहता है, ये रहता है. So what we tend to do is to avoid facing that daunting task. We just procrastinate it. So we will be working on techniques to counter procrastination as well. We will be working on techniques for rapid revision, like the flashback sprint, which will allow you to revise your notes very quickly. And so that, because last minute mein jo hai, anybody will tell you this, the last minute revisions are very important right before prelims. The more you revise towards the end, the more you will be able to recall in the exam. So we will make sure that you are prepared for rapid revision. And again, that is something that will be linked to other components of the program as well. So it will be linked to note making. It will be linked to memory retention as well. Because if you have made effective notes, if you have worked on your memory, then of course revision will be faster, right? So it is all going to be interlinked. We will be working on exam anxiety. Like I said, बहुत लोगों के साथ ऐसा होता है, हम एग्जाम हॉल में जाते हैं, हमें शुरू के कुछ मुश्किल क्वेश्चंस नजर आते हैं, and you go completely blank. Your mind goes blank because then all of that anxiety takes over, and then you start making mistakes, जिसे हम silly mistakes कहते हैं. आते हुए भी हमने उस चीज को गलत कर दिया. और ये मिस्टेक्स हम सब ने कभी ना कभी करी हैं. मैंने भी करी थी अपने अटेम्प्ट के टाइम पे. एंड एग्जाम हॉल से बाहर आओ तो रियलाइज होता है कि क्या गलती कर दी. एंड दैट वन मिस्टेक कैन कॉस्ट यू योर अटेम्प्ट. So we will be working on reducing your anxiety so that you know how to tackle anxiety even if you feel it in the examination hall. There are techniques like grounding techniques that we will be using. And these are techniques that are, like I said, they are empirically backed. And these techniques I use with my clients. They're very effective. So I will be bringing all of that for you in this program. We will also be addressing common concerns that you might be facing, like stress or loneliness or lack of motivation. So all of these things will be addressed in this program to make sure that when you finally go for prelims on that D-Day, you should be perfectly prepared to tackle whatever is thrown at you. Your knowledge, whatever sir has done for logic boosters, all of these things, you should be able to use it to the optimum level. You should be in that good frame of mind to be able to utilize all the tools that you have with you.
So guys, Demolish Prelims 2025 starts on 25th of November. The enrollment link is given in the description box below. And guys, as you have seen, this is a first of its kind initiative where senior and experienced mentors, rankers, mental health professionals are coming together to provide you 360-degree mentorship and filling those critical gaps that have been left unfilled by the UPSC coaching industry so far. So hope to see you guys in the session and interact with you guys in live interactive sessions. Thank you guys.